Before we start, we're going to ask for a moment of silence for Ronald Hoskins, who passed away yesterday following a long illness. Ronnie was the Colonial Chapter President from 1992 to 2016, PVA National Director from 1997 to 2017, and served on numerous national PVA committees throughout the years. He was immediate past president from 2017, treasurer for the Colonial Chapter in 2018. Ronnie served in the United States Army in 1969 through 1971 and joined PVA in 1990. Ronnie was a great asset to his chapter and others because of his knowledge of PVA and his big heart. He will be missed by many. On behalf of the Colonial Chapter of the Paralyzed Veterans of America, it is my pleasure to welcome members and chapter representatives and others. I'm excited to have you all here to participate in our first Meet Your Candidates. The purpose of this meeting is to see what your candidates' goals and plans are for the future positions they are going to be running within the Colonial Chapter. Also for you to ask questions. At the beginning, the candidates will have 1 minute to talk about themselves. But there are a couple rules. Everyone will be put on mute during this meeting with the control of the office staff. We will unmute you when it is time, it's your turn to talk. The candidates will have 1 minute to introduce themselves at the beginning. Then I'll ask one question to each one of them. After I'm done, we will ask the audience for questions for the candidates. Now, it'll probably be you, Dick. We'd like the audience to put their questions in private messenger, or since Dick's the only one on, go ahead and speak up. No candidate is to ask questions. Candidates will have 2 minutes to answer their questions. Everyone, this meeting is to have the members and everyone get to know the nominees. Everyone is to respect all candidates and guests. If we find or feel that anyone is not, we will remove you from the meeting. It looks like we're going to have a good time, so let's have fun. Okay, Brian, do you want to go to the first slide? Then as your picture comes up, Brian will unmute you and you will have 1 minute to talk about yourself. Matthew P., you have 1 minute to talk about yourself.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm Matt Peeling. I'm the current board president for the Colonial PVA chapter. And what is there to say? I've been honored to serve in that role over the last 2 years. I think I've brought quite a bit to the chapter in terms of organization, helped lead a bunch of great people, get us off of the monitoring that we came into, and implemented some what I think is some very valuable programs, things like the outreach program. We've established some of the committees in terms of establishing a financial committee, a fundraising committee, all in an effort to improve finances and bring in more dollars to help drive our mission. My plan over the next year is to continue to do that, to continue to increase the outreach program to more people, focus on more grants to be able to enable us to do that. And at the same time, capture the data. It's something that we haven't done real well in the past, but capture that data and use that data so we can generate more funds, bring in more funders, help them understand what we're doing. help the public understand what we're doing. But the outreach program is definitely a big part of what I would like to see grow, continue to grow. Along with that, our members program. Last year, we did our first annual getaway. I think it was a very good success, and we're looking to do many more of those in the future. And more events like that. The more we could interact with the membership, the better. You know, it's a membership that hasn't had a lot of communication in recent years, and we want to change that. We want to turn it around. We want to establish more social media, more publications in terms of newsletters, but not just newsletters. Do more of these Zoom meetings, have some online interaction with members, have some online education, things around mental health and COVID, for example, or nutrition, or more sports and recreation. Larry Hughes did a great job there, and more things to help your health, and did a great job with the COVID masks and gloving and how to use those. But we want to continue to do that and extend it out to our members and other chapters as well.
Thank you, Matt. Okay, next slide, Brian. Vice President Ann Adair. All right, Ann.
Okay, of course, that's me next to my swimming pool. Actually, that was at Martinsburg when we went out and did an outreach to Martinsburg and their sports program. I am currently the Vice President and National Director from our chapter. I've been connected with PVA for over 20 years. I think it's around 22 now. And of course, I'm a retired VA nurse, and I was in the Army as well. My focus is a lot on healthcare and making sure that our members do receive the best healthcare. And I'm involved in, have been involved in going to see veterans once a month as part of our team doing outreach to the clinic at the Baltimore VA. We also have a team that has been going to Philadelphia and Wilmington, and we try to have a team go to Perry Point and Loch Raven as well, because I think it's very important to visit our members as well as people who are not members, but they have conditions where they could be members. I really believe we need to bring some younger folks in, and some people who are positive and are looking for outreach to our community. We have certainly started to do advertising and letting people know in the area of Delaware and Maryland. So far, we're doing outreach to the universities and that sort of thing. And I became a member, by the way, of this chapter about maybe 10 years ago. And I want to say the board then, Ron Hoskins was managing the board, and he always had a gentle way of humoring a lot of people, and he would laugh a lot. And so I believe that's the way we should continue with our membership plan. We should have humor, but be logical in what we do. I like Matt's idea of organizing and doing computer data searches. And we've also, one of the things that I'm really proud of is that we have recently done a lot of outreach to our members, which I think is a critical thing. And we've begun to get thank you notes in. We've begun to get phone calls in from members who are saying how much they appreciate what we're doing. And I just really think that's a positive thing. And that's all I think for me.
Okay, thank you, Ann. Next slide, Brian. Next up is Secretary Elmer Titus, better known as Art. Art, you're going to be there you go, Art. You have about a minute and a half to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I'm a full-day ordained minister, and I work with different organizations too. I've was a secretary for the last 2 years, and I think we could do better at it. And one thing I seen was when I was down in Cambridge, there was nobody down there that knows about us. That's where I'm getting my treatment at now. And the one for the doctor down there at the VA hospital, I'd be dead right now. I mean, it's we got great things going on here, and I'm pushing a lot of things. And I think we need to see it more about pushing out cards when people are sick, birthdays and stuff like that. We used to do it. I don't see it anymore. And we need to keep on top of something like that and keep our records in better shape than they are, and to limit so much paperwork that goes on. I know we could do a lot better than we do now in the area of that. And like I said, I'd like to get in on it for 2 more years, and I'm looking forward to it, to work with everybody, Matt, Anna, and Robert, and everybody. And I enjoy it when we get to come up there to a meeting or something. And like I said, I got that much more to say. That's it.
Okay. Thank you, Art.
You're welcome.
Next slide, Brian. Okay, Christopher Bryant is not here with us today, like I mentioned earlier. We have 2 candidates for treasurer. Chris is having some little bit of issues, and he wishes that this goes well, and he asked for you guys to consider him. But we do have Robert Reuter here. Robert, you'll have about a minute and a half to tell a little bit about yourself. So if you could come up a little bit closer, Robert, and I'll move away.
Well, I guess the world knew I was coming. We just had a big lightning bolt and thunder. Bob Reuter, I've been your treasurer for the past 2 years. And during this period of time, I've brought, along with the help of the office staff, Matt, and the board, we've brought the chapter from a negative financial statement. In fact, we were in debt and had a lot of long-term debts on our books. And we have now cleared those books out, and we are in a positive cash flow. We're managing to put some money into a rainy day fund and get this chapter on a solid financial footing. And that's necessary if we're going to do any of these other things, like outreach to the members. And I would like to be able to be your treasurer to continue these. Back in high school, I think I took bookkeeping so that I could be with all the girls, because that was back in the days when the girls took bookkeeping, the boys took shop. And I didn't want to take shop, so I took bookkeeping. I was the only guy in the class, didn't realize how important it would turn out to be. While we use computers today, instead of papers and pencils, all of the books are kept exactly the same way. And I got an A in that class. So I minored in economics in college. I owned a business. I ran a bus company, and I have a degree in engineering from the University of Maryland in transportation. If you ever ride Amtrak on the high-speed corridor, on the Northeast corridor, and the train stays on the track, I guess you could blame me, because that's what I did, was to design the train realignment. The trains would stay on the track. And I've born and raised. I've lived there now. I have 6 kids, 15 grandkids, 7 great-grandkids, and in October I'll have a great-great-grandkid. So if they say a man or a woman is blessed by their children and their grandchildren, I am extremely blessed. And I hope you will bless me with another chance to be a treasurer.
Thank you, Robert. Brian, next screen, please. This is our screen for our board of members. At this time, we're going to introduce you to Crystal Young Terrell. She's new to the organization. Crystal.
Okay, hey, how you doing? My name is Crystal Young Terrell. I'm a retired Army wounded warrior. I'm in a position I like sports. I'm with the Delaware Patriots at the Wilmington VA Hospital team. I'm also part of the Red, White, and Blue team in Delaware. And I'm also part of the advisory board for fundraising. And I'm applying for a position to take care of the sports. And my goal for taking that position is to make sure that anyone that wants to try a sport, regardless of your disability, that we will do what we can to ensure that you're able to do those things. And to get more active. I know PVA has yoga. If you want to try the online yoga, PVA also has a yoga that's Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. They started a nutrition thing that starts tomorrow at 3 o'clock. So anything that we can do to help you guys to get on a better footing, to be able to do the things you want to, and try something that you thought you never could, or try something, do something that you always wanted to do, and realize that you can actually do it. And I'm a good example of that because I was a homebody and I didn't think I could be able to do anything. My passion was football, and when I got injured, I thought sports were ended. So no, if I can do it, you can do it, and it doesn't matter what condition you're in. And I just want to have the opportunity to be able to show you and help you through the process, and hopefully that you'll have fun along the way. Thank you.
Okay. Next up is the movie star of the Colonial chapter. Screen. Movie star John Pep, better known as Pepe. Pepe, you have 1.5 minutes.
I don't know. I don't know if my big head can take that long, but my name's John Pepe. I'm United States Navy, but don't hold that against me. I'm also a member of the Delaware Patriots. Yay. I'm also new to this. This is only going on my 2nd year to the Colonial. I really, really enjoyed it. I've learned a lot. I just this past year got to be a mentor for the Christopher Reeves Foundation. With Tim helped me get that, and I think I would be a major asset to this board, like I have been. I got shanghaied into the membership from the beginning, and I didn't think I did too bad of a job anyway. And I would like to keep going what I'm doing. If not, do some more. Like Crystal said, man, just go out there and do it, man. We're not limited anymore. That's all I got.
Thank you. At this time, now, I'm going to ask some questions to our candidates. After I'm done with my questions to the candidates, we will take questions from the audience. We have Dick on, and looks like Val. So we'll see if you have any questions for them. At this time, I'm going to ask a question to Crystal Terrell. When thinking about the board, Crystal, what will success look like to you?
Success is us working as a team, making sure that we do our input, things that when we talk to members, to see what they're feeling, so that everything that we do is always coordinate to the majority of our members, and our success is the members. So without them, we can't do what we do, and without fundraising, to do the things that we're able to do, I just believe success to me is seeing our members grow and are happy and enthusiastic about what the chapter is doing for them and our community.
Thank you, Crystal.
You're welcome.
Next question is going to be for John Pep, better known as Pepe. Pep, give us your best example on the way you see the chapter's work had made a difference.
Well, the chapter works great. I mean, I myself personally experienced it last year with the wheelchair games. You guys helped me get down there and everything else, and it's been a blast. The camaraderie among the paralyzed veterans, the national wheelchair games, and everything else have just been incredible, and it only makes me want to do more into this, into the Colonial chapter. And that's why with the shoots and everything, I'm there. Anything that has to do with the chapter, you don't even have to ask me. I'm there because I went out to Missouri with Charlie Wright with the PVA out there. I go out to West Virginia out with the PVA. The PVA has just been a total inspiration for me, and I just want to do more with that.
Thank you, Pep. We'll move on to Robert.
More commonly known as Bob.
If there's anything you wish more people knew about PVA's mission, what would it be and why?
I think the biggest problem we have is the fact that nobody knows we exist. We need to get out there. We need to somehow make paralyzed veterans better known. Everybody knows all these other organizations. Everybody knows VFW, DAV, but it's almost like, who's paralyzed veterans? And I took the bull by the horns a few years back. It takes an act of the General Assembly in Maryland to get on the Veterans Commission, along with a Congress delegate, Tiger Davis, who is a veteran. We got the Colonial Paralyzed Veterans on the Maryland Veterans Commission. We get the word out in Maryland to the other veterans. And of course, I end up having to go to various assorted functions such as Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and things like this. But I'm one person. We need to get more and more members advertising the fact that there is a Paralyzed Veterans of America. And I'm one of those people that Ann talks about that goes down to the hospital and as part of our crew. And I talk to every person I can think of. If you're in a wheelchair, you're fair game. And I talk to everybody, and the vast majority don't know we exist. I give out more applications for membership, and surprisingly few come in. We really need to get the word out that we are here, and we're here for you.
Thank you, Bob. Next one will be a question for Ann Adair. Ann, do you have any area or passion when it comes to the mission of the Paralyzed Veterans of America, and why?
Well, I would say my real passion is healthcare for our members, and seeing the success that people can have with good healthcare. PVA is the main organization that works closely with the VA and does site visits to all the spinal cord centers. We also try to do site visits to the medical centers that are affiliated with each spinal cord center. We work with the MS Center for Excellence, and we work with ALS patients. And those are my passions. You know, once again, as a nurse, I believe we can assist our veterans also with their service connection disabilities, if they qualify for that, because we have the best service officers, the best trained service officers in the country. None of the other service organizations that I have met, the people, have as much training about medical care to begin with. And that's one of the things I see. Also, the membership. We are looking for some younger people. I think a lot of the younger people don't want to join organizations in this day and age, but when they do, they find out that it's really pretty cool that we don't sit around at a bar. We sit around at this table that you can see in the Zoom picture, but we also have parties that we do. And that's another thing that we've been doing recently is doing parties. And I just, my video just went off. It's back on. But we've been doing some outreach in that regard. And last year when we did our first big party, we had 57 people show up, which was great. And we had a wonderful time. I don't think people expected to have such a good time, but we really did. And that was in Ocean City. Then at Christmas time, we had a meeting in Reisterstown, Maryland, at the American Legion. And we're planning to have another as soon as the COVID virus is subsided, or we get a vaccine, or we get effective treatment. Then we plan on having another party for our members in another location in Maryland, maybe Pennsylvania. Bill Lawson gave me some really good ideas when we were on probation or monitoring. And he said, why don't you plan on moving parties around so that people will know in the spring we're going to have a party in this part of the state, or in the fall we're going to have a meeting in this part of the state. And that really encouraged people to come. I think Bill had a really good idea, and we've been doing that. Our board is very proactive, and I'm really glad to have the team that I have to work with. It's been a real pleasure for me.
Thank you, Ann. Thank you, Ann.
You're welcome.
Next question. I decided to switch a question. I had one planned for Matt, but I decided to switch it to this one. Do you have a strategic plan for the chapter? And what key things are you trying to accomplish in this plan? Because I do remember that was his question to me when he first came on board. Matt?
Yes, while it's not written, I've had a strategic plan. I'm muted. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, it came up, said I was muted. But I've had a strategic plan in mind. Obviously the first initial mission was for us to come off of monitoring. That was, really what consumed most of our time. But, just to talk about a strategic plan and where we're going with this, we had right before COVID, I want to say we were within 2 weeks of having the local nonprofit or Nonprofits Association of Delaware come in and work with the entire board on exactly that strategic planning. To Joanne's point, we didn't have one, and I didn't expect that we would, but we didn't have one in place. And a lot of folks hadn't been involved with strategic planning in the past. So working through the Nonprofit Association, we were able to establish a course, which we've still yet to take, but as soon as we could maybe put this together virtually, we're going to do that. But in terms of where I'm seeing the chapter go from here, definitely continuing, as I mentioned earlier, the expansion of our outreach, the expansion of our caregivers program. That's something that we've also enhanced since since I've been on board anyway as president. And a good example of that was our, as Ann mentioned, our get together we had in Ocean City last year. It wasn't just for members, that was also caregivers. So it gave everybody a chance to really get back and relax. But from there, fiscally, we want to continue to grow. I've already given Joanne my fiscal expectation for fundraising this year. And we're going to work hard to get towards that. So definitely growing financially in a positive way is a big piece of that strategic plan. But, to do that smartly so we can continue to expand programs, so we can continue to start to foster more partnerships with the VFWs and the other veterans organizations that are around us that, frankly, we haven't had a really big involvement with over the years. Try to foster more of those things. Again, I'm all about members, and I think everybody has pointed out the fact that in the past, there wasn't a whole lot of communications. Art mentioned that we had a card program. I want to see that get back into place. The outreach, just touching base with our members on a daily or weekly basis. I wouldn't say a daily, but a weekly basis to bi-weekly, just to make sure everybody's okay. I mean, we have started doing that. We want to do more of that. We want to bring in more volunteers to be able to do that. We only have 2 people that are working for us in the office, and while they do a great job, they need help too, and they need the rest too. They can't do everything themselves. So definitely want to expand our volunteer program. And then probably the other piece that we haven't had a chance to focus on right now is more along the lines of the PAVE program at national level, but want to see more of a mentoring program within the chapter. Pepe had mentioned it just through the Christopher Reeves Foundation, but it's something that I've desired. I spent the first probably 34 years of my injury working on my career. And recently having achieved those goals, I want to be able to now give back to folks that are in my same situation. I've done a lot of volunteering over the years, but none of it's been for folks that are paralyzed or in my particular situation. It's been with children, things of that nature. I want to start to give back. I want to be that mentor. I want to show people what's possible. We don't have to have folks living off of VA benefits and checks from the military. If they want more, let's help them get more. Let's show them what's possible. Let's help them with education. Let's help them with resume writing. Any way we can help, I'd like to see that advance more. So those are my 4 main components, really in my strategic plan in my head, along with training and educating the board to be more strategic in what we do.
Okay, thank you, Matt. At this time, I'm going to ask Val. Brian, could you unmute Val?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm David. Val's
hi.
my wife, and she signed up for the Zoom. It was her Zoom, I think. I never changed the name, but I'm Dave Collins. And I know Ann. I worked down at PVA National in the 90s, and that's when I met Ann. And I joined Delaware Colonial probably in 94, 95. And the distance, I don't drive anymore now, but I knew Ron and everything. He helped me out with some stuff. And, I think you've done well, especially, getting off that watch program and all that stuff. I wasn't too involved with it or knew what was going on, but I think it's as far as membership and getting younger people, and those are all great goals. I worked, as I said, for PVA, and I went to Montgomery College and retired in 05. So I'm kind of taking it easy now. And, the distance between where I am and Delaware, it's just, it's too much, as far as, and not driving. But, I'm happy to be part of this. And now with Zoom and all this other technology. By the way, I spent about 15 minutes trying to hook up with you guys. I had 2 meeting ID numbers that were different.
That's
It's my fault, Joanne. I sent you that email. I'm sorry.
As long as it wasn't me, that's fine. No.
Do you have any questions for any of the candidates, David?
No, I thought they did a fine job, and I don't have any questions per se. No, thank you.
Right. Thank you for joining in.
You're welcome.
Dick. Now, Dick, I'm going to let you ask a couple questions to our candidates to get them thinking. You're another ED, so you might have some questions that you might be able to throw out there.
I guess I'll put on the spot. One of the questions that I would say is, what are any of your thoughts on further education for yourself in the nonprofit sector, as far as there are many universities out there offer certificates in nonprofit management. Some offer master's programs in nonprofit management, like the one that I went through at Regis University. My belief is if you're serious about making your nonprofit better, then it sometimes takes that commitment to go and get some of that education and get some of that book smart in the nonprofit world. Our chapter, there's a U.S. University of California, Long Beach, has a 5-class certificate in nonprofit management. Each class is $250. We tell our directors if they take the first 2 classes and invest $500 themselves, the chapter will buy their last 3 classes for them and help them get a certificate in nonprofit management. It's a benefit to the chapter, benefits them. So my question is are any of you interested in getting more education in the nonprofit world to better understand how you can apply those book skills to your chapter?
I think Matt raised his hand. Matt, did you want to answer this?
Yeah, absolutely, because you're really touching on one of the things I'm very passionate about, especially in my work. Give you an example. 2014, I went back to college, American Military University. That was my goal when I went into the military, was to get my degree, something that nobody else had done in my family. Went back 2014 to American Military University and got my bachelor's in information technology management. 2016, I finished with my master's degree in MBA, Master's Business Administration. I've been in nonprofit organizations as an executive for the last 25 years. My role at work is a chief information officer for a large healthcare organization in Maryland. So definitely nonprofit organizations and how they function, the administration of such, something that I'm very much in tune with. And then most recently, I've gone and completed a certificate through Harvard for cybersecurity risk mitigation. So continuing education is definitely something I'm passionate about. And I touched on it a little bit with our educating our board about strategic planning, but you're absolutely right. That's something we want to continue to foster and expand through mentoring and support folks. If they do have a plan to educate themselves further, I am more than happy, and I'm sure the rest of the board as well, to help them achieve those goals.
Okay, we have Ann raised her hand. I think she has a comment on that. Ann?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. They have us all muted. That's why I asked. Dick, we're fortunate that our service officer out of the Baltimore Hospital and the Baltimore Service Office completed his master's in geriatric services. Now, that doesn't mean that all the young people belong in that, but he is very organized too, and he's very pro-education. And I know that we get articles from him. This was a master's degree he finished, but he also used to help build our embassies around the world. So he's very organized, and I'm glad that we have him. But also Matt is extremely organized and is teaching us. I want to say I just finished, but it's been 20 years now. I finished an MPH and MSN at Johns Hopkins when I was in my late 50s. And it has been invaluable for me. And I always encourage everybody to get education. I like working with Matt and the rest of our team. I think we have a lot to offer each other, especially toward education and job and training. I want to see us have a succession program the way Matt talks about. That's what we need to do so that each of us, once we decide that we don't need to be on the board anymore, then there will be someone qualified to fill in and somebody who has that education that you're talking about. Yes, and we have universities all around us here. The Wilmington, University of Delaware is just a couple, 3 miles from our offices, and we're already involved with them in a number of programs. But at this point, I think we could bring in some short courses over line and have them for the board to sit and learn online together. I think that might be a good thing. And they don't have to be credit courses necessarily. But, you know, as Bob mentioned, he took that accounting course when he was in high school, and it's always helped him. And I think any of us could benefit from continuing education, especially management.
I will just say that the CSU Long Beach nonprofit certificate course is a 100% online course as well.
Oh, that's good. Well, we need to start. Am I still on?
Yes.
Oh, okay. We need to really start looking at those kind of things, because I think that's one way too that we can get our younger members involved, and we need to promote this kind of thing. I'm glad you brought it up.
I'm gonna pipe in real quick. Dick, we're part of the Delaware Nonprofit Association that offers those different classes to us at a really discount price. In fact, we are going to be getting some training that touches bases on a little bit of everything what you're talking about, which the chapter is already paid for, but during the whole COVID, we've had to take a step back because we really would want an in-person, because it's about 3 days of 8-hour days for us to be looking into that. But we also started an advisory committee, which has been really great. The advisory committee is pillars of the community that have businesses that some are nonprofit, some are mothers of the PTA, and they come and they are advising our chapter on items to do and what to do, and at that time it goes for board approval. So our chapter's a little bit different, but we do have an answer from Bob.
Speak about the wound care. Speak about the education for the wound care nurse as well.
The University of Delaware, which is literally a couple blocks up the street here, and they were going to, in fact, we were half through getting set up on a training program that they're going to come in here and work on teaching us about nonprofits. Myself, I had the chief, National sent in the chief financial officer, and I spent a pretty fair amount of time learning about how National and how we should be doing our books so that we could get everything accurate. As for myself, I've gotten into the language thing, and I now speak 4 languages. So one of which I'm certified interpreter. So that's sort of a sideline for me. It does train your mind to think different. Also, I am also a pilot and instructor and ski instructor, and a pilot of a glider, sailplanes, and that is a whole learning experience every time you get in the aircraft.
Dick, do you have a question for one particular person? Oh, there's John Pepp. John Pepp wants to say something. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I want to say something on this education. Like Ann said, this new VSO, Tim, when he reached out to me about extending my in the mentorship of Christopher Reeves, I said, yeah, I'm all in for that, man. I'm a firm believer in the day that you don't learn something is the day you're dead, you know? So I'd like to go further and look at some of this education part of this. This is awesome. I'm learning new stuff every day with this PVA, man. This is awesome. Thank you.
Dick, do you have a question?
Joanne.
Yes, Art.
You forgot me on my 2-minute question.
No, I gave it to you.
And you
I didn't
answered.
hear it.
You answered it, Art.
I did. Okay. Maybe I'm half asleep. Oh,
Okay.
but yeah, education. I got something to say on education too.
You
You know,
sound
I've been back and forth to school many times on nonprofits because I run a mission for 15 years, and you'd be surprised how much you can learn in these things. Get down. My service song wants to jump in my lap. She takes some stick again. But anyway, there's a lot of programs right out here in the state of Delaware that are free to the Cary campus, Georgetown campus of Del Tech, too, to help us out.
okay.
That's all I got to say.
Sounds great. It sounds like, sounds like a lot of you are interested in continuing to learn more. And I just think the more as a director you're willing to put into bettering yourself, you'll make the chapter better. As far as other questions, I mean, one question had a bunch of answers, so I think I'll let you guys figure.
Okay. Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown's on.
Hi, everybody. Can you see me?
Yes.
Good. Going to say hello. It's a great way to do this actual program. I was telling Matt on a little chat that I think this is innovative and great way to do it. So during the times, that the COVID comes and we've had some spikes and peaks of it, is there one way that you can think of reaching new members during this time period? That's my only question.
Is that to Matt? Is that for Matt, Charlie? Who do you want it to go to?
No, Matt's probably got a pretty good answer for it. I'm gonna see. I'm looking around. I got Ian here. No. Hey, Larry Hughes. Larry Hughes. What would you do to reach new members?
Not on. He's not running for office.
Oh, he's not?
No,
Okay,
so
then.
John Pep,
So
Crystal.
yeah, Pep. How about Pep?
Pep, since you are the membership officer, here you go. There's a question for you. Did you hear the question, Pep? Or do you want to repeat it?
Muted.
He's muted.
What, during the COVID time period, what one unique way do you think you can reach new members?
Well, what I've been doing is I've actually been calling them. Actually, I talked with one of our new members today, and I go to another member who I think he's a member. He put his application in. I don't know if he's a member yet or not, but I do outreach even with this COVID-19 going on, and I do outreach whenever I can, even over the phone or in person. I do it in person too. I go right down the block, a couple blocks down from me, and visit one of the guys that are in a wheelchair just to make sure he's all right, just to, touch base with him and say, hey, get outside, blow some stink off your ass. Let's go.
But Pep is he's also the chairperson of our membership committee, which we've been doing our extreme membership outreach. He helped organize volunteers and members to give a call out to all our members. We've made, last count, it was over 1,600 phone calls, and we have only, what, Charlie, 300 and some members?
Yep.
What about Larry Binger. He's a member of the Texas PVA, and he was having problems getting groceries. And I reached out to our chapter and said, hey, look, it's costing him $80 in the bus because they would only let him bring one bag at a time back from the grocery store. And I touched base with Joanne and everybody, and and we actually helped him out. And he's grateful. He called. I just talked to him too. He reaches out to me all the time just to say, hey, what's going on? Hey, how you doing? And we go up shooting every Thursday. Well, not lately, but we used to go up shooting every Thursday up at Pennsylvania, up trap shooting, So I've been reaching out I've been reaching out more now than I have before the COVID-19.
Thank you, Pep. I have a hand raised, Daryl Carroll. Daryl, who's your question for and what's the question?
I guess I'll direct it to John Pep. If I'm correct, was Charlie Brown asking what way would he reach or recruit new members or just reach new members?
That is correct, Daryl. I wanted to know what about new members. What can you do or what?
Not recruiting, but reaching the new members, correct?
Yeah. Reaching out to the new members, yes.
Thank you. That's fine. That's all I had. I would like to know the answer, though. How would you recruit new members during this COVID? Pep?
Well, I went to like I said, I went right down the street here, shut-in. I went down to his house and literally knocked on the door. Let's go, get some stink off your ass. Let's go, let's get outside. And I showed him what PVA was about. And I don't know, his membership is in. I don't know. I gotta track that down. I don't know if he's actually an active member yet or not.
Yes, sir.
But I actually physically went to his house.
Good. I like that answer. Thank you.
You're gonna get honest answers when you ask that one. Okay. Does anyone have any questions for, we got a newbie, Crystal? Does anyone have any questions for Crystal? Or a question for Robert or Art?
And I got a question for Crystal. Sorry, Joanne.
Yes.
My question for Crystal is, with her activity in sports, has she found unique ways to keep involved in sports during COVID?
Yes, I have. I participated with the wheelchair games, virtual wheelchair game. We just got done with hand cycling on Wednesday. And also I participate in, of course, the yoga classes that PVA offers online Monday, Wednesday, and Saturdays. And also I walk I maintain this physical activity every day. I work average is 4 miles a day. I just keep moving. I was like, and that's what I want other people to know, whether you're in a wheelchair or not, just move. I was like, I was stuck in a wheelchair for 2 years and I couldn't move. I couldn't do a lot of things, but I managed with the help of other people wanting me to be mobile, is to get stronger. So no matter what situation you're in, there are ways to help you get stronger. It doesn't matter to me. I've seen people become stronger regardless of their disability.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay.
You got somebody muted.
Someone's muted. Oh, okay.
Not that it's a question, Joanne, but do you want to talk a little bit about our virtual run?
Yes, in fact, I'm going to turn that over to my lovely assistant. We were working on it today. My Vanna or Brian. Brian, you want to talk a little bit about our virtual run?
Yeah, well, originally we were going to do a run at a park in Newark, and because of COVID, we decided to just have a virtual run instead. And I've been doing some research, and there's a lot of places that are actually doing this and raising a lot of money. And actually, my daughter, I got the idea from her, ironically, my 14-year-old daughter. But she did a virtual run, and she paid $30. They mailed her a T-shirt. So it's like, I mean, pretty much all we're doing is like, basically they do it on the honor system. They go out and they do the mile, the 5K or the 15K, the 3 different races we have set up, and then they call back and tell us our time, and it's all on the honor system essentially. And then, you know, we determine a winner, and places are raising a lot of money this way, and I actually think we might do pretty good doing it. I've been working on the packets and stuff, and I've been trying to set it up through this one website, and I've been meaning to talk to Matt about it actually. If you know, like a good software, I'm thinking about putting it on the website to actually do the sign up of for the race, for them to actually do the payment processing, to tell us the shirt size they need, and you know, just fill out like a form online. And I wanted to kind of like pick your brain at the best way to do it, I guess. But that's kind of like where I'm at. I made a logo. That's one big thing I did. I can pull that up real quick. I'm kind of proud of the logo.
And we've
Yeah.
had different come forward. This is a sneak peek what we're going to be sending out on our website, Facebook, send to all the different chapters.
Yeah, like I'm like literally working on it. This is like a Word file right here. But that's my the run, walk, and roll with the guy in the wheelchair. Like this logo right here, it's like my, you know, my pride, like drawing. So, but that's one thing I was working on today. And then we were filling out this waiver, and I'm like, well, maybe we should just do it on a website instead of even having a paper waiver. Like I just, you know, I kind of want to pick this idea with a couple people and try to figure out the best way to, you know, do it. What do you?
We're trying to go paperless. So having the waiver online, we can just put in a file on our computer.
I think Crystal's waving her arms.
No, I saw her do something.
I was like, what I wanted to add was there's an app called Map My Ride, and it tracks exactly where you at and where on any map, and it'll tell you exactly how many miles you did.
Yeah, and how long it took probably too, right?
Yeah, it does. It tells you how long it took, and it actually tracks. Like we went to a long time, and we took in rode our bikes.
Yeah.
It tracked exactly from the point where I was at to where I did.
Yeah, I've been there to the trail you're talking about. So I think there's the technology out there to do this. It's just like knowing what it all is and coordinating it all. And I think, you know, with the right people, I think we could probably pull this off.
Yeah, we'll definitely, we'll talk later, Brian. There's definitely sites that do this.
I have 3 people that raised their hands. One person, we'll start with Anadare.
Well, since we have Charlie Brown on the phone, I want to, and everybody here too, what are some ways of advertising to the greater community? That way we might actually get membership potential members through advertising to the greater community about this virtual fun run and roll, rock and roll. And it's to everybody. I mean, I know Charlie would have some, but I wonder about the rest of the committee. What are you all doing?
Well, this is Charlie Brown. I got a question. You guys are part of this nonprofit in Delaware, correct? This group of people. Have you thought about reaching out to them, and maybe they have a kind of like I'm not going to call it a PSA, but similar to that, a PSA,
Yeah.
where you actually announce over a radio or a TV station that something like this is going on.
Great.
Yeah.
We're in contact with this place called the Red, White, and Blue organization that puts on races, and they're going to help us market it. And the other place I have is like, you know, Facebook, like boosting posts and that kind of stuff. But I'm definitely all ears about different options.
Are we on Instagram?
Yes, we have an account. I don't. We probably need to use that more, but I usually just use Facebook.
Well,
Okay.
a lot of people are using it, Instagram and Facebook, and that might be an additional.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I've been trying to say something for the last 20 minutes.
Well,
We hear you now.
we hear
Okay,
you.
great.
Hear
First
you
of all, about getting back about the races. First thing you do, because I've been putting on races for more than 25 years, you can connect with any foot racing club because they reach across all borders, number one. Generally, they all connected to a TV station that's in the community that's free, and they're well-versed and connected. That gives you a source of people. Word of mouth works good because people know who people are in their community and who does what. When I got into racing, Nobody even knew about a guy in a wheelchair in Colombia until I started racing. Then everybody knew. That's how I started in the organization 34 years ago. And as far as getting back to Dick's thing about 501c3 things, it's vital because the laws about that change all the time. I've been doing this for 34 years and I wrote every article and policy myself and filed it. So that's vital because things are changing all the time, and knowing what to do with equipment, knowing what to do with monies that are coming in, so you be within the law. There are various statutes within the 501c3 as well too for doing different fundings. That's how you can go in and raise money with other organizations and not break any laws and be within bounds of your own bylaws and your own policies. You need to be you need to be as versed on this as any other law. And that's how they keep that going. And as far as getting members and where to go get members, you need to go where people are. People go to the market. People, when I first got started, I was out in front of food markets selling forgive-me-nots all day long. And we got members that way. You know, you got to get back out there, blowing up balloons, man. I'm talking about things that people don't do. It's great. You know, do you remember growing up and you had these long penny balloons and you make like animals and stuff out of that? You know how many people are attracted to stuff like that, and you start a conversation, word of mouth gets out, because once you get people to start talking, they start knowing about you. That's all I had to say.
All right, and then we had a hand raised up. It was Daryl Carroll. Daryl Carroll, are you still on? Do you still have a question from one of the candidates?
No, I'm good. Thank you, Joanne. Daryl here, West Virginia.
Okay. Thank you. Brian, down in the chat, I see that there's some chat messages. Is there any questions in that chat?
No, we had Dick was saying goodbye to everybody because he had to run, and Charlie Brown, his internet dropped off.
Okay. Well, I want to.
But I'm back.
I wanted to tell everybody that it's a pleasure that everyone came on and wants to get involved with the chapter and be part of the chapter's growth.
Joanne, Daryl.
Yes, Daryl. Go ahead.
Daryl Carroll here, West Virginia. How many new candidates do we have tonight?
Tonight, new
Yes.
candidates. You would have had Crystal's new, Chris Bryant, but he's not with us tonight with some health issues. And Pep actually is kind of new because he was appointed. So
I just wanted to comment then real quick, Daryl again. Whoever you are candidates, you have wonderful leadership there. You have Anna there, you have Joanne, you have Brian. Pepe, you need to listen to these people. They're good. Work with them. They're wonderful leaders. I've worked with them, some in DC, some in traveling, but you all are good ground people. You're good leaders, all of you. Thank you.
thank you, Daryl.
Thank you, Daryl.
Thank you, Daryl.
But getting back to is we had a team last year. We're just building our team, and we're going to get bigger and better.
Hey, Daryl, this is Ann. I didn't want to interrupt, but thank you.
Didn't want to interrupt you, but Joanne, man.
That's all right. No, I didn't want to interrupt you either.
Daryl, can you tell us, and this will be for any chapter member and chapter board of directors right now, can you tell us the difference that you've seen with the Colonial chapter from 5 years ago until now?
In my chapter or yours?
The Colonial chapter. You've done the Colonial chapter 5 years ago to where we come to today.
Leadership, leadership's leading instead of running and leaving the people behind, from what I can tell. And with your, like Anna Dare said earlier, instead of saying on probation, it was on trial, whatever. I think that played a big lot in it. But still, you've got to have, like I said earlier, you've good ground people there. You're willing to listen, and then you're really good with people. And you didn't have that 5 years ago. Now you do. And that's the difference. You want to lead, you want to be a leader, but you're willing to lead. That makes a big difference.
Yeah, because you're from the outside, from a different chapter looking in, and you see the difference. Dave Collins, I'm going to go to you. You're a member. How many years have you been a member, Dave?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, I joined when I was downtown in DC. I'd probably say 95, 96 I joined. But I mean, because of the distance, I haven't been too involved. I would get the newsletters and talk to Ron every now and then, but I needed something. But I think maybe I went to one meeting.
Have you seen the difference in the chapter?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, since when I've read about the being on probation and all that, I had some doubts, and I thought, wow, this doesn't look too good. But you guys have come a long way since then. I mean, whenever anybody needs anything, you guys are pretty service oriented. So I've been impressed. Very pleased. Hey Sharon, I wanted to ask, as far as that, the yoga Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, if you could send me the link, I could sign up. That'd be great, because I had it and I don't know what I do with it. But it's DC Wheeler at Yahoo.
Got it. I got your email. I'll take care of that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dave Collins, this is Ann. I just want to say it's good to see you.
Thank you, Ann. Good seeing you. It's been a few moons.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there again, I want to thank everybody. And just a reminder, we've lost 2 really good board members in a 2-month period of time. So I would like another moment of silence for Joseph Singleton and Ronald Hoskins, please. Again, I'd like to thank all members of the Colonial chapter, National Vice President Charlie Brown, other chapters, and our board members, and just thank you for coming out tonight. It was a good way to intermingle with our members, to show other chapters what we are and how we are doing also. And so I'd like to actually let Charlie Brown do the closing remark.
Well, thank you for letting me join you, and thank you for setting out the link. That was pretty awesome. And I just want to say, you guys have asked the question. I'll answer it very specifically. I see a lot more teamwork coming out of this chapter than it has in years.
Yeah.
You had a lot of people that would lead, but they didn't have the ability to work with team and make it work together. The office staff, all the way down through the new members to even, the old members have been around for years. You guys work together, and that's the awesome part. You have great leadership there. Yes, you do. And like I said, I see great things coming out of Colonial and continuing for it. Your mentorship program is how you treat each other and how you treat the next person coming in. So keep up the good work there, and you will continue far. Again, this is an innovative idea on doing your board like this, your nominations, for people to see it. I know it's recorded. Hopefully you can put it on your website so people can see some of those comments and answers. And that way you'll actually get more of your members looking at it. I think it's a step forward, and great job all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thanks, CB.
Thanks, everybody. And Charlie Brown, thanks so much.
Welcome, and thank you all. Love you all too.
Yeah.
Love
Stay
you.
healthy out there.
And you stay healthy where you are.
Sorry to come in late. This is Bob Dance's Gordon, Michigan chapter. And I, of course, I just hit your link, and it was nice to actually see all you guys get together like this.
Do you have any questions for our candidates? Any question?
I don't know your candidate because I showed up at the very end.
It doesn't matter. You know there's president, vice president. Come on, Bob. I remember you in Minnesota.
I got a question for you, Bob.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Michigan or Michigan State?
Ooh.
I'll say neither.
Okay.
I was born in Ohio.
So Ohio State then. Okay, gotcha.
Oh no, he did not just go there. Bob Biggs, he did not just go there.
Ohio State?
Well, I was raised as an Ohio State, according to my father then, but I live right in Ann Arbor, so I can't really say anything anyways.
I know how you feel. I had an office in Ann Arbor years ago, so I know exactly how you feel.
All right, Bob, how's your going during this COVID?
How's what?
How's your chapter doing during this whole COVID? How is your outreach program coming?
Well, we're doing the same thing. We're doing Zoom get-togethers. Everything's looking good. We're kind of talking with our financial advisors because another financial advisor approached us saying that we should be doing this and that. And so we're kind of talking between financial advisors of saying which way is the best for us. So in fact, we got another meeting, I think, next week to discuss that. But yes, everything's going good. Sports is kind of out there with everybody on their own, but and our social get-togethers, of course, I like this. We get the Zoom and see everybody that way.
Right.
So.
Well, make sure you tell everyone I said hello.
We will. I will. Yes. We, all of us here.
You might reach out to the CFO at National too. That she could probably be some help trying to figure out which financial advisor is giving you the good information.
Yeah, Cheryl.
Yeah, sure. I
Michael
couldn't
Harris,
remember her name.
our president, he's really on into this, making sure. Because the guy came in, and he said, "Well, they're ripping you off doing this and that," and I was like, "Well, wait a minute. They've been doing this for us for a long time, and we've been trusting them really well." And so, again, just to get with Cheryl and probably talk with her.
Good idea.
And you have your hand raised?
Yes. One thing I wanted to mention is I think it's hard for all of us to plan with COVID-19 to figure out what we really need to do outreach, because we can't go anywhere. And how to reach people through Zoom. You know, I do think these are really good questions and problems to consider. And we fortunately have a really good group in our board, I think, who are looking at ways to beat this problem. Now, not beat COVID-19, we're not trained for that, but to beat the issue. And I think we're working on it. It's just hard to comprehend, actually, what is the situation and how do we handle it, meeting with other people and doing these sports activities or doing outreach somehow into the community. I think it is a very challenging problem for all organizations.
I agree with you, Ann. And you know, the two reasons why I always have the most confidence in PVA and everybody that I meet in PVA, two things really stand out. One, we're all military, so we were trained to adapt and overcome. Two, we've all had to battle some type of illness that's changed the way we live our life, so we've had to adapt and overcome. This is no different. We use those same skills that we use in our daily life to deal with this COVID thing, and we'll continue to come up with new and innovative ways to do things. You know, I have no fear about that. Go ahead, Pat.
I already have. I can't reach out to the people in the hospital, but when I go on my tablet to my doctors and stuff, you're damn sure I tell them, you're damn sure I tell him. And right before this happened, I was in my primaries in February, right? I gave him a stack of my cards. I'll bet you 4 inches tall.
You go, Pep.
And I even on the Zoom on my or not Zoom on my appointments to my doctors, I make sure they take a screenshot of my card, and they're passing it out. So I'm not giving up. This COVID-19 ain't gonna kick my ass. I'm getting better at this shit.
Well, you know, another thing, we are fortunate, extremely fortunate in this chapter to have Joanne and Brian and their creative ways of looking out into the community and trying different ways of electronic media. And like Pepe, you said you show them on your screen where the organization you're from. You're not going to let them kick your butt.
Thank you, darling.
And as a whole, I think the other really good piece as a whole is that we're willing to try.
Yeah.
You know,
Great.
we're all willing to try, and if it doesn't work, we're going to try something else. I think that's a critical feature of what's made us get to where we are today. Everybody's passionate, and we're willing to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Bob's like having a pee-pee dance here. I've been touching him now. We're going to let Bob have his turn. Bob?
Patience is not one of my virtues. One of the things I do, and it might help, is I joined another closer.
Wait, no. To your right.
Huh?
This way.
Go to your right a little. We can't see your face.
I'm closer. Move over. One of the things I've done is I've joined other disability rights, disability organizations on the web, on the internet. And while they may not be from our area, a lot of them are veterans, and a lot of them don't know about paralyzed veterans. And they do when I get done with them.
Good job. Good job, Bob. All right. Do we have any other hands risen? Ann, did you raise your hand again?
Well, one thing I wanted to say too, at least our masks now show PVA, and people can say, what does that stand for when they see us? And I like those new masks.
And they're the only ones I wear lately.
Well, good. I'm glad it wasn't earlier before we had them.
Well, there again, if then no one has any more questions, we've been on since 7 o'clock. We figured we'd end it at 8:30. I will there again say thank you to all the participants that had come out here tonight. The Michigan chapter, the California chapter, and you know me, I'm an honorary member to what chapter, Daryl?
West Virginia, by God.
Yeah, there you go.
Isn't that West by God, Virginia?
We say West by Virginia, but I said West Virginia, by God.
Yeah, but I got a West Virginia mask.
There you go.
I got a West Virginia jersey for
Oh, that's
West
right.
Virginia chapter jersey. So, I want to thank everyone.
Thank everybody for coming.
I would like to thank Larry Hughes for his input. It's always good to hear from you, Larry.
Yep, absolutely. Hope you're doing well, Larry.
Hope you're doing good, Larry.
And everyone be safe. Good luck in the election. David, did you send out your ballot yet?
It's going out tomorrow.
All right.
Hey.
But thank you. Say goodbye to Crystal. Bye,
I want to
darling.
wish everybody a safe and blessed day.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me, West Virginia.
Well, you're always welcome to come in and add anything. We do have different Zoom things, and sometimes it's just a chit chat, Daryl.
That'll work.
Okay.
It's good seeing you again, Daryl. Let's do breakfast again.
Brian,
An honorary member. My mother's from Martinsburg.
All right. It's getting late, and I'm
All right,
sorry.
love yous all.
And
Love
bye.
yous all and stay blessed.
Bye.
Love you all.
Great job.
Bye.
Sharon,